I apologize for any noise you may hear in the background. I've got the windows open, get some cool air in here. It's a nice day. It's only about 79 degrees in the house, and it's about 2:04 p.m. Pacific time, but that's not really what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about, you see the title down below, Night of Champions, Night of Champions versus Sunday Night Football, 9, what's it going to be? 12, 13, 14, 9, 15, 13. SNF, Sunday Night Football versus NOC, Night of Champions. And this could be the deciding factor for WWE. You see, they lost viewership. True, it was the first week of Monday Night Football was back, and it was a doubleheader. But they lost viewership right off the bat. They lost a little over, I think, what they had obtained recently in the summer. You don't believe me? Check out Google, go to any of the wrestling websites you may think of, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But they lost some viewership and ratings. Now, everybody pretty much knew they were going to lose some viewership. I mean, heck, the hot new show, Total Divas, lost viewership on Sunday because of Sunday Night Football. And if you think them losing, I don't know, millions, if not a little bit more than millions of viewers, and their ratings dropping on both shows because of football now, what do you think is going to happen this Sunday with Night of Champions? And we're not talking ratings for Night of Champions, we're talking buy rates versus ratings. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to have less buy rates for Night of Champions than you on Sunday Night Football, because here's the deal. Both will begin at the same time. And do you think there's one household out there that's not going to be sitting down wanting to watch, is going to decide to watch free broadcast network television airing of Sunday Night Football over paying $45 for a pay-per-view, which I will admit has a decent main event, but if they're hearing what I've heard today online and from people like Sean of Sean's View Entertainment here on YouTube, if they're hearing that the possibility for the ending of that main event is either one of three possibilities, which is either a DQ, a referee bump, or Daniel winning the title only to have it reversed because of a so-called unfair call or decision. Sunday, excuse me, that's my dog in the background. Sunday Night Football is going to dominate. And you might think, oh, well, they can't always dominate. That's true. That might be true, but guess what? The second Sunday Night Football match is the battle of the NFC West. The two top teams of the NFC, Seattle and San Francisco, in Seattle, are going to go at it. And what do you think? What do you think the populace is going to choose? What do you even think the wrestling fan that is excited for Night of Champions is going to choose? They're going to choose Battle of the West, 49ers versus Seahawks on free network television, free network channels, NBC. That's what they're going to choose. And you might say, oh, well, Brian, that's not entirely true. And you're right. You know what? It's not entirely true, but those that buy the pay-per-view, if WWE doesn't use this pay-per-view on the second week of Sunday Night Football against a marquee matchup in Seattle against the Niners, in Seattle and San Francisco, I should say, then they could pretty much kiss the butts, the ratings, and even future buy rates goodbye in the future if they don't switch something up, if they don't do something that's going to get people's attention, it's going to get people talking, and it's going to get those that chose to watch Sunday Night Football over the Night of Champions a reason to tune in and watch Raw the following night. They need to do something. They need not to go in this direction, because if they go in this direction, they're going to be killing themselves. They're going to be shooting themselves in the foot. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Daniel Bryan fan. Heck, I'm a fan of Randy Orton's too. I'm a fan of Triple H. Heck, I was a fan of Triple H when he was a heel before he became a babyface. I was a fan of Randy's when he was a heel as well. Not as much as he was as babyface, but I became a fan of his. The truth is, you've got two top guys in your company. You've got the hottest storyline going in your company as far as a majority of your fan base, as far as maybe 75, if not half of your fan base, maybe 50% of your fan base is concerned. Basically, half of the majority of your fan base is concerned. You got the hottest storyline going, and yet you're going to kill its momentum on Sunday if you go with the decision and go with one of those finishes. And especially if you're going to go with one of those finishes with your show, with your Night of Champions show, going up against Sunday Night Football's 49ers versus Seahawks. Now, I admit, last year I bought Night of Champions, but you know why? Because it was because most of the storylines going in were original, they were new and original. Yeah, some may have been rehashed in some areas, but I never noticed that. Because like I said in my video, well, I mentioned that I had no problems whatsoever with rehashed storylines being done, as long as there was some originality put into some of it, was the reason last year I watched Night of Champions. Was the reason last year and throughout last year and throughout the beginning of this year, I gave a damn about watching WWE. I did not mind CM Punk being the WWE champion for as long as he was. It was refreshing, it was original, and it was refreshing. It was something that had not been done in a long time, and it was refreshing, and it was original. It was, yeah, it may have been rehashed, I should say, but it was refreshing, and it was original, and it was a refreshing rehash of something with a bit of originality. And you couldn't ask for anybody else than CM Punk to put that originality in it. You couldn't. The fact of the matter is this. The fact of the matter is this. WWE's Night of Champions this year, the card looks okay. The one match fans might want to pay for, if anything, to see, believe it or not, would be Punk versus Axel and Heyman. That's it. And yeah, maybe, okay, I'll give you three matches they want to see. Three matches. They want to see Punk versus Axel and Heyman. They probably, because, you know, it's got a lot more, because the division's getting some intrigue and some interest put in it, they probably want to see what happens in the four-way Divas match. They'd want to see, basically, Van Dam and Del Rio, RVD, ADR. They'd want to see that because it's Rob Van Dam's first major title match. Well, second major title match, but first shot of the world title since he's been back. And of course you got Orton and Daniel Bryan, but that's about it. And if they're going to be as predictable as we think they are, because we haven't heard otherwise, then nobody's going to want to watch Night of Champions. Nobody's going to want to later on, if they're watching Sunday Night Football like I am, want to go and find a torrent or something, or wait maybe a couple of days till YouTube, somebody puts it on YouTube and download it. Nobody's going to want to do it. I mean, well, I'll probably download the damn torrent anyway, or whenever it gets placed on YouTube, because I like the WWE. I'm still supportive of them. I just think they need to do something on Sunday that's going to get people talking. That those that buy the pay-per-view can say, oh, this happened, even if we did, this happened and we didn't think it was going to happen. And what they need to do, honestly, and again, I'm not saying this because I'm a Daniel Bryan fan. I'm not saying this because I don't like Orton. Again, I'm a Randy Orton fan, no doubt about it. And I'm not saying this because I don't like Triple H. I'm a Triple H fan. I'm a Stephanie McMahon fan. Okay? Overall, I'm a fan of a lot of good things, WWE, a lot of superstars and people that WWE, in my opinion, has created and developed into great characters that no matter what side they're on, you can't help but love them. You can't help but cheer for them. You know? And to me, what I'm about to say is not because I'm a fan of either of them. I'm saying it because, as they've been quoting on Raw and SmackDown, it's what would be good for business. And what would be good for business, what would get people talking, is not go in the direction, those 3 possible rumored directions that Sean talked about in his video. What's good for business is to do something unexpected. Is to give Daniel Bryan the belt, which would be good for business. And then just when you think Triple H might do something, maybe reverse the title change or something, have Daniel Bryan pull a CM Punk. Have him roll up Orton, or have him tap out real quickly to the yes lock or whatever submission. Or like I say, roll him up or small package him into a pin. Be declared champion, grab the belt, and run out through the crowd. You know, before Triple H can make any kind of decision. You know, because that way at least you give the fans reason, those that bought the pay-per-view reason to talk, and you'll give people that decided, hey, I'm going to skip over it, I'll probably download it later or whatever. You give them a reason to want to download it by torrent. You give them a reason to wait till someone on YouTube or Daily Motion or Blimp puts it on those websites. You wait until that moment. You basically give people a reason to do that, as well as you give people a reason to tune into Monday Night Raw. Because even if they decide, okay, Triple H is going to put Daniel Bryan in a situation to where, there's no doubt he's going to lose the belt, so be it. At least you get people talking about Night of Champions. At least you do something. Basically what they need to do with Night of Champions overall, not just with the main event match, but with the overall structure of that card, is make it unpredictable. Go in a direction nobody would see coming. Go in directions, like I said, that nobody would see coming. Sorry, I was thinking there for a second. And in that way, people who didn't order it will hear what other people have to say that did order it. And in that way, it gives them reason to tune to either probably order the replay down the line, or go on demand and order the replay, or wait till it comes out on a torrent, or wait till someone uploads it on YouTube, Daily Motion, or Blimp, or even if they feel like it, wait for another month or so, buy the damn DVD or Blu-ray at a store. You see, that way you're giving attention to something that honestly, whether anybody wants to admit it or not many people are really excited for, except for maybe 1, 2, maybe at most 4 matches, and that's it. Again, the best way that NOC, Night of Champions, can compete against SNF, Sunday Night Football, is by unpredictability, going in directions no one would see coming. And that can't be more important, and that can't be more true, I should say, than for the WWE Championship main event. They need to go in different directions. And like I said, if I'm WWE, I'd give Daniel the belt, even if it's for 24 hours, and then maybe if you want to have him hand it back or lose it to Randy Orton. I mean, I remember, let me give you an example. You want to know what made WCW so hot at times, back in the mid-90s, was the fact that when you would have Eric Bischoff in a similar role that Triple H is in, Eric Bischoff would reverse decisions not the night it happened, but the night after. I remember when they did the sold out pay-per-view, the first sold out, and I think it was at the beginning, now it was towards the end of the NFL season, but at the beginning of the new year, when they did sold out, and people were still, and I think this was at a time when the wild card games and all that were taking place, and they'd rather watch that. When people heard, I guarantee you, when people heard that the Steiners beat the Outsiders to become the WCW Tag Team Champions at the time the NWO pay-per-view sold out, people tuned in to see the Steiners as the Tag Team Champions, to see what was going to happen next on Nitro. And what they tuned into was exactly what could be done if they wanted to do it. Even though it's rehashed, it would get people to tune in. You know, people tuned in to see the Steiners as the champions, but instead they tuned in to see the Steiners basically be forced to hand the belts back to Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the Outsiders, by Eric Bischoff. Basically by abusing his power, Bischoff kept the belts on the Outsiders, basically nullifying the match and basically acting like it never happened. Same thing in 1996, the month before. Starrcade, Piper versus Hogan. Piper beat Hogan in the middle of the ring with the sleeper, but before, Schiavone and Zbyszko could show the video footage to the fans of what happened, Bischoff yanks the tape out, according to what they said, invades the production truck, takes the tape, and basically, storyline-wise, acts like Hogan beat Piper with no problem. Basically, rewrites it in their own way, storyline-wise, rewrites history and says, oh, Hogan beat Piper with no problem. It was easy pickings last night. And basically, they did that for people they knew were going to choose Monday Night Football over Starrcade. The same reason why they waited till Nitro to have the Steiners hand the tag team titles back over to the Outsiders, because they knew people would rather watch a wild card game matchup instead of sold out. Even if NWO was the hottest thing going, they'd rather watch the wild card games, the NFL playoffs, than a pay-per-view. That's about it. End of story. And you know what? Again, for those that would rather have watched the NFL playoffs, it gave them a reason, because people told them about what happened. It gave them a reason to want to watch Nitro, to watch it even more. It gave people that would rather watch Raw, even at that time, a reason to tune in to watch Nitro. Because here you had a WCW tag team essentially do what was nearly the impossible, and that's become the tag team and bring the titles back to WCW, only to have it reversed. And again, that was smart on Bischoff and WCW's part, because they knew that was good for business. And that's exactly what the WWE needs to do. They need to do something that's going to get people talking, that even if the next night they decide, oh, by the way, Daniel, that referee that came in was not the official, so the decision doesn't stand. You either forfeit that title back, either hand that belt back to Randy, or we're going to sue your family. Or whatever. Or even if WWE wants to, have Daniel defend the belt against Randy that night, but instead have him go into sort of a 3-on-1 handicap match against the Shield, have the Shield beat him down, and then have the match happen for the title. Thus, again, gets more heat on Randy, because basically all he has to do is do what he did at SummerSlam, just walk over, put a foot on top of him or just cover him and hook his leg, 1, 2, 3, new champion. It makes more sense. It gets people talking, it gets people tuning in. So to me, NLC versus SFF, Night of Champions versus Sunday Night Football, this Sunday, WWE, you better stop pulling out some unpredictable tricks. Things we will not see coming, directions we will not see you go in, especially when it comes to this title match. Or else you're going to lose a lot of momentum in a big way. This is the one night during the football season you need to keep that momentum going. Because if you don't, people are going to start tuning out your product a lot faster than they've been tuning it in. That's all I'm going to say. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. But pray and hope that WWE makes the right decision and doesn't go in those 3 different directions, especially when it comes to the WWE, especially when it comes to the WWE Championship match. Because if they go in one of those 3 directions at the finish, they're going to lose a lot of momentum. They're going to lose it quick. Tell me what you guys think. Video response down below. Comment if you like. Talk to you all later.